Hello pretties, we are super excited to introduce our newest sky overlay collection from Pretty Actions, the Painted Skies Overlay Collection. You guys can use this with Photoshop. It's super easy to add beautiful, colorful, dreamy sky overlays to your images using not only our overlays, but the amazing applicator actions and enhancers that come along with it. Super easy to do, but don't just take my word for it. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how these really work. Okay, so we're going to play with two different images. Our first image has this blown out white sky in the background, and of course we just want to make it a little bit more dreamy. Okay, a lot. So let's take a look and see how this would work with our newest collection. So I have the cloud applicator open here, and I'm just going to select custom sky, or actually, I'm sorry, blown out sky magic replace. This action is literally like magic. I'm going to press play. Okay, we'll follow our handy dandy instructions, press continue. And for this particular image, we're going to use Painted Skies 27. Okay, I'm just going to click on it and select place. Now, notice how the sky overlay is automatically applying to anything that's either a lighter shade or just white. So you'll see it is applying somewhat to our subject here, and that's actually a super simple fix, and we'll show you just how to do that in just a moment. So I'm resizing, and you can really drag this to where you feel it fits the image best. And I'm just going to drop it right on the horizon line here and press enter. Take a look at the actions panel, voila. Okay, we have a selection of actions that are, or enhancements rather, that are going to automatically enhance our sky. But before we dig in and play with those enhancements, let's go ahead and perfect our sky. You can do that with the top two layers here. Our bottom one says perfect sky. We want to recover our image details, so we're going to click on this top layer mask. Notice how it says white, okay? So I'm just going to make sure white is set to my foreground color and my brush is already selected through the action. Make sure your opacity is up to 100%. And I'm just going to zoom in here to make sure that I'm able to recover all the details. Now I'm just going to start painting over her. Okay, notice how I'm bringing back the details of the subject and erasing the sky that had kind of placed over her just a little bit here. Okay, now if you make a mistake, and I'm going to do this real quick just to show you guys and paint outside the line here. So obviously I just removed some of the sky. That's a super simple fix. I'm going to bring black back to the foreground color and just paint over that. And you can make your brush larger and smaller using the left and right bracket keys. Okay, so we're going to bring white back to the foreground color, and I'm just going to paint over her face and her hair. If you're having a hard time seeing where you're painting, you can always press the backslash key, and I can easily see all the spots that I've missed. So I'm going to get her forehead here. Sometimes it's just really hard to see, especially if you've been staring at the screen for a little while. So that's a really nice feature. Okay, and I also want to paint back the sun here because we had naturally had a sunset captured in this image, and I really want to see that sun peeking through. So I'm just going to dab by her arm here, and we'll let that come through as well. So that just erased some of the sky. Okay, so it's looking pretty nice. We're going to go down to the black perfect sky because we want to perfect our sky just a little bit, the horizon line here. So since it says black, we're going to bring black to the foreground color. We still have our brush selected, and I'm going to bring my opacity probably right around 50%, and I'm just going to brush along the edge of the trees here in the background on the grass, just to get rid of any hard white lines that may be there. Okay, so that's looking really nice. I'm loving it. Now we can have a little bit of fun and play with the built-in actions. Okay, and we're gonna start off with Sky Fade. To turn that on, we're gonna click on the little eyeball right next to the enhancement. Okay, so notice how it automatically only applies to our sky overlay. There's no more masking that needs to be done, and that's why we definitely want to do that in the beginning, so the rest of your actions and enhancements are easy peasy. Okay, so we can also click on this enhancement and adjust the opacity. I really like this at 60%, but something that's just a good practice to do is bring the opacity down to 0 and then just work your way up until you find that it's working best for that particular image. Okay, so let's move up to lighter sky. I'm going to turn that on. And let's keep that at 35%. We're also going to turn on darker sky and keep that at 35% as well. Okay, so we're going to turn on the contrast boost and keep that at 100%, and also the saturation boost, and we're going to keep that at 50%. Okay, so one more thing that we want to do here is select Paint a Pretty Sky, press play. We'll read our handy dandy instructions and press continue. Okay, so we have all these beautiful colors that we can add to the sky here, and we just want to boost the blue and actually make it a little bit more of a pastel blue. So what we can do is double click on that square, and I have my little color picker box appear, and I can pick any color within that window. And I wanted more of a pastel, so I'm going to press OK. We're going to click on our little layer mask. And again, you can make your brush larger or smaller using the left and right bracket keys. Okay, so remember, when using layer masks, white reveals and black conceals. Our layer mask is black, so the entire enhancement is concealed. We're going to bring white to the foreground color, and notice how I can just paint this on. And I just realized our opacity for the brush is still at 50, so I just brought that back up to 100. And I'm just brushing this onto the image. Notice how it looks a lot more pastel, super, super pretty, and we can play with that saturation as well. I really like where it's at right now. Okay, so let's do a real quick before and after, because as you guys know, these are definitely our favorite. We know they're your favorite, and they're super, super fun to do during these tutorials. So real quick before and after. Bam! World of difference. This image is so much more magical. And the best part is we were able to do it with just a few clicks. All right, guys, we're going to move on to image number 2, and this is going to be our second and final edit. Notice in this image how some of the sky here in the corner is blue. It's not completely white or blown out like our previous image. So we're going to use another action within our cloud applicator action collection here, and I'm going to select Custom Sky Replace, and we're going to hit play and read our handy dandy instructions. So really we can replace any solid color sky. This one is a mix of both of the white and blue, so I'll show you how to do that here. We're going to press continue. Okay, we're going to use the color dropper tool to click and sample the color of the sky that we want to replace. So that makes it super cool. If you have a solid blue sky, you can absolutely use this action to replace that as well. So notice this is our color picker box, okay? And all of the black is what is going to be selected or where the sky will be placed, okay? So it's not really going to be placed over here where the clouds and some of the blue is at the moment. So what I can do is kind of click around and see where most of the sky is being selected. Again, that's going to be the black area. Now I can always play with the fuzziness slider here and move that to the left. Now more of it's being unselected, so I want to move that further to the right. Okay, notice I'm getting a pretty solid selection here, and any of the black down below the horizon is also where some of the sky is going to be placed. So again, there's going to be a little bit of masking there, but this is looking really good. We're going to press OK, and I'm going to go in and select Painted Sky 10. Click place. Voila. I'm just going to click and drag. Depending on your version of Photoshop, you may have to press and hold shift as you're dragging the sky to resize and keep the proportion. Okay, and I just want some more of the sun and pretty clouds here at the bottom, so I'm going to bring that to the top. Press enter, or you can double click. Okay, so same deal. Notice how this applied to the entire skyline, even where we had the clouds and some of the blue here. So it's looking really, really good. We just want to do a little bit of masking. So I'm going to zoom in here, and this is going to work exactly like the previous image. So if we want to recover image details, we're going to click on this top black layer mask, and it says white. So what are we going to do? We're going to bring white to the foreground color. Our brush is selected, and I'm just going to make the brush smaller using the left bracket key. Double check your opacity that it's at 100%. Okay, and I'm just going to start masking. I'm going to zoom through this here just so you don't have to watch the entire process, but you know how that works. Okay, so I've gone in and masked out the subjects, and we're just going to click on the black perfect sky just to make sure that we get rid of any of the crisp white lines around the trees that we have here on the skyline. So we're going to bring black to the foreground color, and we've got the little clue here on the layer mask that says black. We've got our brush selected. I'm going to bring it down to 50% just so it's not quite as harsh. We're just going to lightly brush over that, and just to help the tree line blend in a little bit more naturally. Okay, and that's looking really, really good. We're going to keep that as is. And now here comes the fun part, when we can play with each of the adjustment layers. So with this image, we're going to turn on the blur your sky layer, and we're doing that because you can see in the background how the trees and the bushes are blurred. You've got that natural bokeh occurring within the image. So let's go ahead and play with the opacity. Again, I like to bring that down to 0 and just work my way up until I find that it's working best with that particular image. And that looks really good. So we're going to keep that at 40%. And let's go ahead and turn on the sky fade. That really helps with, again, just making the sky look that much more natural and lightening up the horizon line. Okay, I do want to change the opacity on this one. We'll keep it right around 37. And let's add a little bit of haze. There we go. We're going to turn on lighter sky. And I definitely want to add some contrast to the sky. Look how that really brightens up the sky and just makes it look a little bit more crisp. Real quick tip, if you want to add some extra contrast, or I think the saturation, well, we'll just work with the contrast here. It's at 100%, so I really can't go up any further in the opacity. So what I want to do is duplicate that layer. I can either take it down to the bottom of my layers panel and drop it on the square with the little folded corner at the bottom, and bam, there is my duplicated copy. It's already at 100%, looks gorgeous. I'm going to delete that here. You can also go to layer here at your top menu bar and duplicate layer. Notice contrast boost is already selected, so I can press OK, and that's duplicated automatically for me. Of course, I can go in and adjust the opacity here as well. Okay, so last we're going to select saturation boost, and we're getting a lot of beautiful dreamy color. Again, we can bring that down to 0 and just work our way up until it's working best for this particular image. Okay, so just as we did with the last guy, we're gonna have a little bit more fun and run the paint a pretty sky action. Press continue. And let's go ahead and work with blue. Again, we're going to select a nice pastel color. Okay, click on the layer mask again. Remember, white reveals and black conceals. So we're gonna select white, bring the size of the brush up slightly and the opacity all the way back up to 100%. And voila, we're done. Gorgeous. Let's go ahead and take another look at before and after, because we all know that is our favorite part of the video. So I'm going to take a snapshot here and zoom back out. There we go. Okay, so real quick before, this is the image that we had started with. We found out how super easy and fun it is to use the custom sky replace, so you know that you can literally replace just about any sky effortlessly with this action collection. And here's our after. So much more dreamy. Beautiful image to begin with, but look at that, guys. Amazing. All right, thank you so much for watching our video. We had so much fun making this new collection for you guys, and we really hope that you have just as much fun playing with the Painted Skies collection as we did making it for you all.